The
You
day
were
I
not
stumbled
supposed
into
to
the
be
alien
here.
competition, I was
I
just
know.
trying to find a bathroom.
But
I
I
know
won
how that
anyway.
sounds, but it's the truth. I'd been hiking alone through the Nevada desert when the sky split open like a seam in wet paper, silent, surgical, and terrifyingly blue. One moment I was standing on cracked earth, cursing at my empty water bottle. The next, I was inside something vast, cold, and humming with a frequency I felt in my teeth rather than my ears. "Welcome, candidate," a voice said. It wasn't spoken aloud. It arrived in my head, fully formed, like a memory I hadn't made yet. I looked around. The chamber was enormous, a circular arena with walls that looked like frozen lightning. Dozens of figures stood around me in concentric rings, all humanoid but blue-skinned, their long dark hair drifting as though underwater, their eyes lit from somewhere deep inside. They were kneeling, all of them, facing a single figure at the center who stood tall, armored in something that resembled woven light. I later learned that figure was Commander Ethery, Supreme Judge of the Vela Conclave, and she was staring directly at me. Sorry, I said. I think there's been a mistake. I was looking for a... Silence. The voice in my skull interrupted. The trial has begun. The trial, as it turned out, was a test of a very specific quality the Vela Conclave valued above all else: instinct under pressure. Candidates from across 17 star systems had been studying for it for years. I had zero preparation, zero training, and was wearing hiking boots with a broken left shoelace. The test was simple in structure, brutal in execution. A series of moral and strategic dilemmas were projected directly into your mind. You felt them, not just read them. You lived the consequences of every choice in real-time simulation within your own nervous system. Most candidates passed out by the third scenario. I made it through 11. I wasn't brave. I wasn't smart. I was just stubborn. Every time the simulation tried to overwhelm me, I did what I always did in real life. I made the most human choice I could think of. Messy. Emotional. Imperfect. Real. By the 9th scenario, something strange happened. The Vela candidates around me had gone still. Their glowing eyes tracked my every twitch. Commander Ethery had descended from her platform and stood 10 feet away, watching me with an expression I couldn't read, but it wasn't contempt. It was recognition. When I came back to my body fully, gasping, the arena was silent. Then, all at once, every figure in the room pressed their right fist to their chest and bowed. "The accidental candidate has completed the trial," the voice announced. Score: 11 of 12. Highest recorded in 3 centuries. "What happens now?" I asked, still dizzy, the taste of copper on my tongue. Commander Ethery stepped toward me. Up close she was terrifying, tall, blue, armored in silver white, her eyes burning cold like 2 stars at the edge of dying. But her voice, when she finally spoke aloud, was quiet. "Now," she said, "you lead us." I laughed. It echoed badly in that enormous room. Nobody else laughed. The weeks that followed were the strangest of my life, and I once survived a Tunisian food poisoning that had me hallucinating for 4 days. The Vela Conclave was not a military unit. It was something older, a civilization made of many civilizations, held together not by conquest, but by chosen allegiance. And it was fracturing. 3 of the 17 systems were on the edge of secession. The Conclave needed a leader who didn't carry the weight of ancient grudges. An outsider. Someone whose instincts hadn't been calcified by 10,000 years of interstellar politics. They needed, apparently, me. I made terrible mistakes. I said the wrong things in ceremonies where silence was required. Asked questions that were considered deeply impolite. I sat in the wrong chair at a summit between two species who had been Cold Warring for 600 years and accidentally negotiated a trade agreement just by asking, "What do you both actually need?" Ethery found me after that summit, sitting alone on the observation deck, watching the stars scroll past. "You do not act like a leader," she said, sitting beside me, the first time I'd seen her sit. "I know," I said. "That is why it works," she replied. On the 42nd day, the secession crisis reached its peak. The Meridian systems sent a final ultimatum: submit to their governance model, or they would withdraw and take 12 inhabited worlds with them. The Conclave's council was split. Half wanted to let them go. Half wanted war. I stood before the full assembly, hundreds of delegates from across the known galaxy, all watching the human in hiking boots who had wandered through a gap in the sky. I didn't give a speech. I told them a story about a hiking trail, about a cracked water bottle, about how sometimes the most important things in your life happen because you were just trying to find a bathroom. The room didn't laugh, but it didn't need to. They understood the point. We are here by accident. All of us. Every civilization began with someone stumbling into something bigger than themselves. The Meridian delegation withdrew their ultimatum 3 hours later. I never went back to Nevada, not because I couldn't. Ethery offered to return me 3 times. Each time, I stood at the edge of the portal, the blue seam in the air, the smell of desert on the other side, and turned around. There was too much left to do. Too many worlds I hadn't broken protocol in yet. Too many summits where my stubborn, imperfect, deeply human instincts might accidentally hold something together. Besides, I'd learned to love the stars. And Commander Ethery had finally started laughing at my jokes, just slightly, just at the corner of her mouth, which felt, in its own small way, like leading a civilization.